fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya. Now, Midoriya has exposed his secret to Jiro. Now, with that, Jiro did confess to him that she did actually have a crush on him and that the concert thing was just a cheap way of asking him out on a date. Now, Midoriya then did share this information, to which she then requested that she share information about her own past. Now, with that, these two did eventually kiss, after talking a bit more and actually, well, Jiro learning what's going on with Toga. Now, with that being said, they did then return to the camp with everybody else, and things did seem to be going perfectly normally, as we do cut up to the day where the forest is supposed to be attacked. Now, Class 1A and Class 1B have set up the competition. Class 1B has already gone into the forest and come running out scared, like scaredy cats. Since yeah. Anyways, recenter that. Now, with that being said, it was then their turn to try and scare Class 1A. And then it was whenever people were being paired up for drawings. And well, Momo Yaoyorozu, she did decide to sort of rig things a little bit. She made people draw straws from her hand. And this was really just a cheap excuse for her to pick up or pick who's being paired up with who. Now, with that being said, she paired up Jiro with Deku on purpose. And this actually did get Toga to be quite a little bit angry. Her, however, trying to stay calm by herself this time, and keep things perfectly under control. However, her spidey sense did go off. Her looking down at her hand and seeing that her fingertips or her nails have turned into red claws. Her actually then just walking behind everybody and putting her hand underneath the back of her shirt, as she does just cover it and actually just somewhat try to hide it the best she can, waiting for her partner to arrive. Now, Midoriya and Jiro would walk through the forest, and Midoriya immediately would call out whenever someone is about to jump scare them or try to, well, scare them at all. Class 1B calling him a cheater, to which Venom would pop out of his shoulder and inform all of them that Deku is not cheating. He's simply using a quirk. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he's called out a lot of members of Class 1B already. And then there is whenever he does hear the forest actually starting to produce a lot of cracking sounds. Now, Midoriya is just telling them that he knows that they're there, and to come out. Now, his dull spidey sense, which just to tell him of a minor threat, turns into a sharp one. Midoriya immediately just looking at Jiro before pushing her away. Now, Venom immediately wraps around Midoriya, his black shirt shooting into long sleeves as claws are formed. Venom then covering the top of Midoriya's face just as Riot comes popping out from behind a tree, and does actually go to try and swing Midoriya with it. Well, with another tree. Midoriya bringing up his arm as the tree smashes into it, before he actually does just create a giant blade and try to rush towards Riot, Midoriya telling everyone to run! Get out of here! Now, with that being said, Jiro, she did actually look at the situation. As Riot, he would actually turn and look at her, talking about how he knows her little quirk. He's going for her first. Now, with that, Riot goes to rush towards Jiro, her going to bring her hands up and attack. However, she freezes, knowing the truth about everything. This is an alien symbiote. These things are unstoppable. And, well, from what she has also seen, the host is virtually unkillable. Now, as she does freeze, Midoriya sucker punches the Riot symbiote across the head as hard as he can with a giant warhammer that he did form his fist out of, before trying to whip him to a tree, running over and smashing the tree into it, before turning back as his face is revealed, Midoriya telling Jiro to either attack or run. Her actually deciding to turn back and run to warn the others. Now, Midoriya does just think, shit. Venom, if we didn't tell her the truth, she would have attacked. You can't blame the girl. She thinks that she's just as resilient as you. In fact, he might be more. You saying that wouldn't have worked? Think about it. Why wouldn't you upgrade your enemy, your ally? Actually, then again, Riot actually going to try and slash away at Midoriya. Midoriya actually dodging the slash, as he does bring up his left leg and smash Riot directly across the face, before he's sent flying through the tree lines. And he does hit into a flaming tree. Now, everyone else who's already in the forest, they're scattering. And the teachers, they are actually immediately there set into action, trying to figure all of it out. As we have Riot, who is stalling the bigger threat. He wants to see what Midoriya can do. In fact, this boy called him out on national television, as he does rush back in, telling Midoriya that they're not done with their fun. As he does send he sends flying a log set on fire, directly towards Midoriya. Midoriya just looking at the log, as he does actually go to turn to his right and jump that way. As he does so, he does bring up his hands and grab into the log. Venom actually feeling pain as he does pull back. Midoriya actually swinging his body around as much as he can, as he does then let go of the log and send it flying as Venom does recover his hands. Now, Riot is hit dead on with this log. Midoriya rushing forwards and jumping through the tree line, him smashing as hard as he can down onto the right tree, and trying to run into a circle, as a bunch of trees do fall onto Riot, and they are beginning to actually catch fire. Now, Midoriya, he does have a bit of fun with this, as Riot would simply just crawl out from underneath all of the trees, and Midoriya does actually see a human hand, him going to grab down it as he does actually just pull it straight out, along with the person it's connected to, as we do have a, well, pale, skinny, and physically deteriorated Muscular, who is just begging for help. This catching Midoriya off guard, as the symbiote directly connected to his foot does leap out and directly try to attack Venom. Now, Venom does actually make Midoriya jump backwards, against his very own judgment. As Midoriya, he's still processing what he just saw in Muscular, as he does ask Venom what the fuck was that, as they do watch Riot recover Muscular once again. Riot then informing Izuku that it's quite easy. We can best utilize and gain efficiency of our host when we take control. What the hell? Yes, human. I go through host almost every single month. And I'm the strongest symbiote there is. However, from what I've heard, you've been around longer. You don't utilize your host. You can get so much time out of them, can't you? It's a shame. Yeah. Riot would then rush back in, talking about how he's not worthy of being a Clintar. Now, Venom does actually try and take over, as Midoriya is telling Venom to just let him fight. As Venom does actually try and slash against Riot with a blade, and these two's battles do actually begin to start shaking up the forest quite a bit, as tons of trees are destroyed, and these two actually do cause a lot of things to happen. A good portion of the forest is destroyed, and, well, a few villains are exposed, and pro heroes do actually head in to take them down. As then there is whenever it's Deku and Riot, the only two remaining. Where Deku and Riot, they are in a two-handed struggle. As Riot does begin to try and beef up more using Muscular's quirk on his body. Now, with that, Riot, he's getting larger and larger, and he's physically toppling over Midoriya, telling the pathetic human that he's going to use him as his next host, and see how long his body will last after he consumes Venom. Now, Midoriya is asking a million questions to Venom at the same time, as Venom himself does try and produce more and more of his own biomass, as he begins to try and eat away at the plants all around them, and even the wood, organic material. Anything that they can use to turn into more Venom will be perfect for the scenario. And he's even actually pulling away from Midoriya's blood, since he's stored there. Now, Midoriya does feel himself a quart low, as he's getting lightheaded. And Venom does apologize, telling Midoriya that he will replenish that once the battle is over. However, Midoriya, he's gaining a lot of mistrust in Venom. And Midoriya does actually physically overpower Venom for a second, taking control of Riot, as he does actually push him off of him, before actually turning and going to run. Now, Venom is telling Midoriya to let him fight this battle. Midoriya telling Venom that that's not going to happen, for right now they're retreating. Now, Midoriya does eventually run out into the open, and Venom does retract into Midoriya's blood, quickly trying to replenish what he did take, and fill it in with himself. Now, with that being said, Midoriya does actually try to get back onto his feet, as everyone's watching him run out. Now, this is whenever the pro heroes, they do actually watch as Riot comes out of the forest as fast as he can, telling Izuku that he's not getting away. Now, with that being said, somebody does come in, and they do actually go to attack Riot, as everyone does watch the red symbiote, or as they don't know what it's called, immediately land on top of Riot and go to slash away where the host face would be, as Carnage has joined the battle, wreaking as much havoc as she can, not he, my bad. Now, Midoriya does just suit back up, as everyone is trying to get things together. Now, along with that, a specialized set of heroes, or unit as you'll call them, does actually come to the forest, after receiving a distress call, moving in and trying to subdue all these symbiotes that they do have here. Now, with that being said, Izuku Midoriya, Riot, and Carnage, they are all suddenly hit with sound grenades, and Midoriya is the only one unaffected by them. As everyone does watch as Carnage immediately begins to go haywire, and they do actually see who's underneath. Toga grabbing right at the side of her head as she is screaming as loud as she can. And then there actually is Riot. His host is the thing being affected by this, as well as himself. As they would rush in and go to electrocute both Riot, Deku, and Carnage. Now, after that does actually happen, Midoriya does feel all these these volts run into him, as he does actually just drop down onto his knees, and Venom does actually fall off of his body towards the floor. Midoriya trying to tell him to get up, and that they're not done with the battle. As Midoriya does see a few people walk out of the forest, as they have specialized containers. Now, this would be whenever Deku does see them put Riot away in a cage, or, well, a glass tube, along with attempting to do the same thing with Carnage. However, the moment they actually do move in, Carnage immediately would wrap around someone's finger, or at least the container, before jumping back into Toga. And her actually going to get back up and scooting away from where these people are, telling them to simply just get away from her, get away from her, get away from her. Now, there actually is Venom, who is slowly making his way back into Midoriya's body, as he's going straight in through Midoriya's side, as he's still sitting down, or on his knees. Now, Midoriya is just trying to pick up Venom, telling him that he knows he's still there, just get up, respond to him. And he does actually at least hear the symbiote. It's not a physical noise, nor is it really a response. However, it's enough to get Deku's attention, since he knows that feeling. Now, with that being said, he does just look up at the person who is in front of him. As well, they do introduce themselves, talking about how they are with the Life Foundation, and that they were wondering if they can speak with Mr. Izuku. Now, Midori is skeptical about all of this, and after everything is set up and cleaned up, people do actually question Toga about this particular thing with her quirk. Now, with that, while everyone is questioning that, Midoriya actually does go to try and find Jiro, since, well, she's not here with anyone. And he actually does go looking around. Eventually, he does see a stretcher, where they are trying to at least move it into the ambulance as fast as possible. Now, Midoriya does actually ask who that is, and he actually does watch as a hand would fall out of it. Midoriya actually seeing that, and he does actually just run over and ask them if she's going to be alright. Now, the paramedics do tell Midoriya to back away, and that they need to do their job. This girl was hurt very badly, and it's a miracle that she's even alive right now. Now, Midoriya does just say that he can help her. He can help her. He just needs to get Venom reoperational. He needs to know that he's still alive. Him actually trying to scream in his head for Venom to at least respond to him now. He does not trust him at the moment, especially for that stunt he did pull, but he's begging him. If he listens to him right now and helps heal Jiro, then he'll put some trust back into him. He'll put faith back into him. And Venom does not respond. In fact, he doesn't even seem to be working. And Midoriya just watched the ambulance leave. Now, with that being said, I do believe that that is a good point to leave this off of. And I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. Catch you guys in the next part.